What's up? So I really didn't want to make a video about doing any type of commentaries, politically or socially. I try to avoid it, but some things that just you witness and you come across, and you really got to say something about it. And I try to be as brief as possible. But you know, if you watch any of my rants, I rant. What's going on? I'm ranting about is the fact that in my neighborhood, which is predominantly very liberal. I don't mean liberal in the sense like what we know like 4 or 5 years ago. We're talking about very far out, crazy type of liberals, the far left. I guess you can call it the resistant movement. I don't know. It seems like Americans themselves are the resistance to what's going on. But here in California, what is going on is absolutely insanity. I'm witnessing my neighborhood that I've lived in for quite a while just go to shit. And how's it going?
All right, what is up?
All right. And it's just, as the mailman. Nice guy. But what we're seeing is this influx of our local government here in the East Bay, just totally ignoring the increase of crime, homelessness, and just outright, it just seems lawless. It really does. It really seems lawless. This particular neighborhood, I and trust me, don't get on me about anything type of, oh, you don't know nothing about the plight of the homeless. Trust me, I know a lot more than you may think. I just don't go into details because there's nothing to drop a dime about. Let's just say, when you work very hard, to get to a point where you are not homeless, then you look at everything in a different perspective. What's happening now is we're seeing a socialist state happening in California, where the rich are getting rich, the poor are getting poorer, the middle class are joining the poor, and they are pretty much getting phased out. And the thing is those that already have the money, whether it be through inheritance or success on their own in the past, through the past, they are either turning their backs on the plight of what's going on in California, or they are encouraging it. And what I mean by encouraging the plight is the fact that, there's that old saying, never give a stray cat milk or it'll come back for more. That's kind of what's happening in California. People are being more and more acceptant. I've seen it in Berkeley, especially when I have to do business there once a month, and it's just insane what people are doing out there and how the city is just turning out. And now in my neighborhood, it is just turning out so badly. People are just being more and more acceptant of tent cities, especially tent cities just popping up everywhere. Like it's the norm. That's not the norm. These people shouldn't settle for just tents. These are people that needed opportunity, they needed jobs, they needed skill training, they needed everything. And finally we got somebody at the top of the mountain saying, hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity. But so people are so inundated with the idea that you can only settle for less. And it's damning, it's disgraceful, and after what I've seen today, just overnight, a small community park, probably about as big as probably many of your own backyards or front yards, just all of a sudden a tent city popped up with like 7 tents. Never, ever, since I lived in California, which is decades, probably more years than you count on your hand, have I seen such acceptance of this happening. It's very troubling. And the thing is I'm not the type of guy that's going to be a hypocrite. I talk to everybody. I know all my local homeless because I see them every day. I don't sit there and I don't give them money. I don't give them free beers and stuff like that. I may give them a couple bucks. How I'm feeling, but I live on the rule of never give a stray cat milk or they'll come back for more. And I always keep that in mind, when I do what I gotta do. That being said, I don't know what California's direction is. It's actually it's pretty scary to think that I have a couple kids that live in the area, in California. Hopefully their futures aren't going to be screwed up, whether it be financial, tax wise or educational wise or whatever the case may be. But we have to understand. I still, as a parent, I have to think about their future. I don't listen. You can give so many people resources. They take resources, as far as phone numbers and case management and housing resources. They just don't want to apply by the rules. They just want to sit there and they want to basically have free meals and hustle for the rest of the day. I see it all the time. I see it everywhere. But I couldn't believe I would ever see a tent city that's about as big as somebody's front yard in their house. Depending if you live in the East Bay, it's not that big. If you live in the Bay Area, you don't have a big front yard, unless you live in the country. But they are out there, and they're just now, and and the problem is if you ever ride in Oakland, if you go to Oakland, you ride the BART train, you're going towards San Francisco from the East Bay, you can just look outside that window. You will see tent cities and dried old pallets just stacked to the rafters. And it's, we've had a lot of fires come out of there, out of these places because of, the trash they build up. It's just horrible. It's horrible, and now it's spread over into, next. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not out of touch with reality. I know that homelessness has been around since I can remember, since I was born. But it's just how cities and these nonprofits are handling the situation. They are just kind of putting Band-Aids on the situation rather than literally looking for problem solving. And that's what they're doing. They're not problem solving. They're just we'll give them a couple sandwiches and they'll be okay for the day. And we'll worry about tomorrow. And that's exactly what I am getting out of today's eye-opening experience. I just never thought that we would literally have ourselves in a position where our neighborhoods are now in jeopardy of not only individuals that are homeless, because let's face it, I'm a humanitarian by heart. Trust me, I love human beings. I'm a social guy, but I'm also a realist. Not a racist, a realist. And if you're coming into my town and you're going around, you're causing trouble, and you're getting drunk, and you're pissing on walls, and you're defecating in bushes, and you're shooting up, or you're smoking crack, or smoking meth, or doing whatever the hell you're fucking doing, and then you think you have a right to pop a tent up on a public park where children play, and people walk their dogs and play frisbee on. Trust me, that is the beginning of the end. Because if the city does not address this issue, guess what? All you're doing is feeding stray cats milk, and they will keep coming back for more. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I just wish we can just vote these crazy far left liberals out of office. They're really not in touch with the American people. And now you got this whole immigration issue. I don't even want to go into that. That's just a train wreck. And they keep saying Trump's like, oh, he's a blame, he's separating families. No, man, that shit's been going on for decades. Everybody knows about that. Unless you're just some young millennial that just loves getting fed by junk ass tabloid stations like CNN, MSNBC, and all that other phony ass shit. I mean, that's entirely up to you. If you like being stupid for the rest of your life, fantastic, knock yourself out. But right here in California, unless you're fucking in touch with people, and I don't think Nancy Pelosi's in touch, Dianne Feinstein's not in touch, Maxine Waters not in touch, Eric Swalwell right here in the Bay Area, he's way out of touch. You got Schiff down there, he's another cuck that's way out of touch. We gotta get these maniacs out of office. I mean, we really do. They're absolutely destroying California, and I would be totally, I would hate myself if I didn't say anything about it now. I really would. So let's just keep that in mind, man. I think I'm done ranting, but tell me what you think. All right, peace.